Hello again. This is Desiree Alexander, and I'm so excited to start teaching you about your Chrome web browser. Today, we're going to start with tab management, how to manage your tabs, how to open up new tabs, and the like. So first of all, these are your tabs up here. So when you open up your Chrome web browser, you usually start off with one new tab. But you can decide actually what kind of tab you start off with. We're going to talk about that a little bit more when we get into settings. But for your tabs, these are what your tabs are. They represent the different websites you have open. How do you open up a brand new tab? You have a couple of different ways. The first way is right here where it says new tab. If you hover over it, it's like a little mini half tab. If you click that, it's going to open up a brand new tab page for you. Another way you can do that is if you come to one of your tabs and right click, it has new tab. Also, whenever you right click, if you look on the side of these, it tells you the keyboard shortcut. So you can actually hit the control button on your keyboard with the T button and it will open up a brand new tab. So if you click that, now I have two brand new tabs open. I'm going to go ahead and close them by using the little X in the tab. So if you notice, every little tab has an X. So that's how you can get rid of the tabs you do not want open anymore. So if I right click on this again, I have reload. What reload does is if your website is acting a little wonky, what it'll do is it will refresh your page. It's going to reload the exact same page for you. Next, we have duplicate. Duplicate is really good because it will duplicate the tab for you wherever you are on the tab. So for example, I'm looking at the EdTech Team website and I really want to look at the different boot camps they offer, but I also want to look at the different online classes they offer. So where do I go to first? And then I don't want to click on something and lose this page. So what I can do is I can come here and duplicate the tab. It's going to duplicate the exact same tab wherever I am on the tab. So for example, if I was somewhere down here looking at the blog and I duplicate this tab, it's going to duplicate it right where I was on this website. So now I have this, I can come here and click on boot camps, and then I can open up this one and click on the online courses. And I'm glad I did this because in boot camps, it left me on this page. But when I went to online courses, it's a completely different page. So I would have lost this page here. So that's where duplicate really comes into play, is when I have different things that I want to use on different sites. On the same site, I should say. Next, you have pin tab. So what pin tab does is if I'm working, and I don't want to make a mistake and exit out this tab, what I can do is I can come here and pin it. When I pin the tab, it pins it all the way to the left, and it makes it almost a little mini tab. So now I can just keep working. I can even keep working on this tab and looking at different things, but it pins it and I don't have to worry about losing it. Even if I come here and mistakenly exit out of Chrome altogether, I can get my pin tab back. When you're on a Chromebook, it's just a little bit different from when you're on a Windows machine. So I'm going to show you how to reopen the closed tab now. So if I make a mistake, oh no, I didn't mean to do that. On a Windows machine, you just come back here to Chrome and your pin tab is there. But if you do it on your Chromebook, you notice that the pin tab is not there, which makes pin tab pretty worthless. However, there is a trick to it. On your Chromebook, when you open up that Chrome browser again, it opens up a brand new, fresh Chrome browser. It did not open up the last browser, the last window, if you want to think about it, that you were just using. Maybe a little bit confusing, but let me show you how you can get it back. If I right click on this tab, notice it says reopen closed window, not tab, but you want to reopen the last whole window you had open. Also notice I can hit Control, Shift, and T to do this. If I click that, Notice the window that I just had open with my tabs that I was working on are all here and all open for me, including my pen tab. So that's a little trick, because when you first get started, you're like, oh, my pen tabs don't work. It doesn't work on the Chromebook. So it's just one extra step that you have to do. Now, if I close this, and let's say I was on my just regular desktop, again, you can use the Control-Shift-T, and that's going to open up the last window. So I'm not going to come here and click here. That's going to open up a brand new Chrome web browser, but I can just hit that Shift-Control-T, and it'll bring up the window that I was just working in. So you can either do Shift-Control-T, or you can open up the brand new fresh browser, and then you would just hit here and you would hit the reopen closed window. Okay? And you may have just seen, well, when you clicked on this, the window came up. Well, that's because I never closed it. Notice that little button is down here telling me that I already have windows open. So that's why, and notice I have two windows that I can choose from. This is my new window, and this is the one I already had open. Okay, so that's another thing you can do with your tabs. That was right click and pin tab. So that pin tab, you can't really lose it. Now notice when you do pin a tab, you're only pinning the tab itself. You're not pinning the website. What do I mean by that? That means that if I actually go to a different website, let's say I go to professional development. If I go to a different website, okay, the tab is still pinned, but that website that I had before was not. So it doesn't pin the website itself, it just pins the tab. So if you make a mistake and go to a different website on your pinned tab, then whatever website you go to is what's going to be pinned. Okay. Next, you can unpin your tab by coming here, coming to your pin tab, and clicking unpin tab. And now it's just a regular old tab again. Next, you have mute tab. What that does is, let's say you are on a YouTube video, and the YouTube video is playing. Alexander, and this is just a short video to tell you what to do to be prepared. All right, so the YouTube video is playing, and you actually want to mute this video, but you don't want to mute your whole Chromebook. What you can do is you can come here and it's playing. So first of all, I'm going to right click on the tab and click mute tab. So notice the little icon that shows you that the speaker was playing is now muted. The video is still playing, but the tab itself is muted. The Chromebook is not muted. So I can still come here on my Chromebook and play Pandora, play some music, and the video or this tab is muted. The reason why you would use that is sometimes if you have phone calls that you take on your actual computer, you don't want to mute the whole computer, but you want to just mute that one tab. Another way you may want to use this is if you're in the middle of a class or a meeting and you have to step away. You can't really pause the meeting because you're in the middle of a live meeting, but you can mute the tab and then go and take that phone call or do whatever you need to do on your actual device or on your Chromebook. So those are some of the reasons why you will actually mute the tab instead of just simply coming here and pausing the video or something like that. To unmute the tab, you're going to come here and click Unmute tab. Okay. Next, you have Close tab. The same thing you can do with this little X, but they give you another way to do it. You also can hit Control W. So I'm going to close that tab using that. Close Other tabs will actually close every other tab you have open except for the one that you click on. So our right click to close other tabs is going to close all these tabs. Close tabs to the right will only close all the tabs to the right of this tab. So let's say I came to this middle tab. If I click close tabs to the right, it's only going to close this tab. If I say close other tabs, it's going to close all of them except for the one that I'm on. And you may be wondering, well, when would I use that? Believe me, when you start getting a whole bunch of tabs open, you're not going to want to go to each one and click the little X. So you can come here and just say, you know what, close all the other tabs. Let me, get started with this project all over again. I don't need all these tabs open. Reopen close tab. This is really, really helpful, especially when you make a mistake. So you notice right here, I'm at the home for EdTech team, and I make a mistake and close it. No, that's not what I want to do. I can come here and right click on a tab that's open and say reopen close tab. So it reopens that tab for me, the last one that I closed, and yay, I can be happy once again. If I close multiple ones by mistake, I can actually just come here and keep clicking reopen close tab, reopen close tab. Oh, well, that's the whole window, but you get the point. Reopen close tab. Bookmark all tabs. So if you have a whole bunch of tabs open, you may want to bookmark all your tabs. If you have a whole bunch open and you know you need to use all those tabs over and over and over again, you may want to come and bookmark all your tabs, because the more tabs you have open, the slower your Chromebook is going to run. So if you bookmark all your tabs, you would click this. It's going to ask you where you want to put the bookmark. We haven't talked about bookmarks yet, or we do have a separate video for bookmarks, but you can name it. You can just leave it as new folder, or you can just name it like the project that you're working on, and you can tell it where to go. I'm going to leave it on my bookmark bar, and I'm going to click save. So notice now I have all three of these tabs saved right here. So if I wanted to close them, because this is too many tabs open, my Chromebook is running a little slow, but now I have them right here where I have bookmarked all the tabs I had open. And again, we're going to talk about bookmarks in a separate video. So I have all of my bookmark tabs. Yay me. So notice we are done with this, but we are not done, because there's more things that you can do with your tabs. So I'm going to come here and go back to EdTech team. Now I have two tabs. If you've ever been working, you know that sometimes you have to keep clicking back and forth, because you need information from both tabs. Well, one thing you can do is you can actually take a tab and drag it out to become its own window. So now, if you notice, I have two windows for those two tabs that I had open. Now I can put them side by side and work on them. An easy way to put them side by side in an even way is to take a window, and I call it bouncing off the side. So when I come to the side, you see how I have that really transparent box? That's where this window is going to go when I release it. I can come here and bounce it and release it. So now my tabs are side by side and they're even. Pretty cool. Another thing I can do, because I have these two tabs, but now I don't want these two windows. I want these tabs to be back together in one window. I can take a tab. Let's take this one this time. I can take a tab and actually bring it back. So notice what I did is I dragged it and I put it back where the tab is supposed to be. And now I have both of those tabs back in one window. So those are other things that you can do with your awesome, awesome tabs. So this is tab management for your Chrome OS. Let's move on to another video.